If you are unfamiliar with the rules of chess or just have never played a game, then you probably won't be able to develop an appreciation for how complex this map actually is. And honestly, even if you have played chess but don't understand how devices work inside of Fortnite Creative, then you still won't be able to appreciate how complicated this map is. So even if you've never played a game of chess in your life and don't understand how the devices work in this game, take my word for it when I say that this is one of, if not the most complicated map ever made inside of Fortnite Creative. From downhill zone wars to Fortnite chess, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of a glow-up. Hey everyone, this is Syntax, and today we are going to be taking a look at Fortnite Chess Clash of Kings by Enigma. Like I said in the intro, if you haven't ever played chess or you're unfamiliar with the devices in this game, then you're not going to be able to appreciate how genuinely complicated this is. So I'm going to try and do my best to give you some perspective so you can at least try to understand. If you don't know what chess is, it is a 1v1 style board game where two opposing people have 16 total chess pieces, and the goal is to capture the opponent's king. Now, you might think that on such a small playing surface of 8x8, there's not that many possible games that can be played, right? Well, in that case, you would be horribly wrong. Enigma posted on his Twitter that there are 69,352,859,712,417 possible games in chess. Yes, that's right. If you take every possible game in chess, every possible way that the game can play out, you almost reach 70 trillion possibilities, and all of them are possible inside of Fortnite chess. I'll put the code up on the screen real quick for anyone who wants to jump in with a friend and try it out, but without any further ado, let's take a look at Fortnite chess by Enigma. Before you start the game, you can actually see all of the mechanics for the map, and I am, without a doubt, going into replay mode after this and taking a look at those. Now, when you first start the game, you get a couple of messages. The first one says, please wait 20 seconds for the game to set up. It will automatically begin after. It also says the first player to capture the enemy king will win the game. There is no automatic check mechanic, so be sure you're watching closely for a checkmate. The last thing he says is make sure you never select to move a piece that has 0 legal moves available. This will break the game. Enjoy. So unfortunately, what that means is if you don't know how to play chess and you accidentally select a piece that doesn't have any legal moves, then it's going to break the game. So I think you do have to kind of understand how to play, or else you literally won't be able to. But anyway, as soon as you spawn in, we get this super clean, sleek playing field with both white and black on their respective sides, and we each have a timer that counts down from 1 hour. Now, I haven't tested this, but I assume when I move that my timer stops and then black's timer starts, because that's how chess works, so that would make the most sense. He also has each axis labeled with the correct numbers, 1 through 8, and then A through H, so if I move to a particular square, then it will display for everyone what square I moved to. Anyway, in chess, you are given 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 1 king, and 1 queen, and my goal is to defend my king and capture the opponent's king. Now, I saw this on his Twitter, but I believe when you select a piece, it actually shows you where the piece can move. Look at that. It shows me where the piece can move. If you didn't know, in chess, the front row is actually pawns, and on their first move, they can either move 1 square or 2 squares forward. So I guess if I just click there, then it puts it right where it's supposed to go. That is so insane. Now, because I was in a match alone, after the first move, the game just ended because I didn't have an opponent. But the game's not meant to be played solo, so be sure you play it with a friend. Like I said earlier, there are almost 70 trillion different ways a game of chess can actually end, but in case that's not enough perspective for you, I'm gonna try and explain it in a different way, and maybe that'll help. Let's take our knight here, for example. The knight moves in an L shape, meaning he can move 2 tiles in any one straight direction, and then 1 tile in any direction perpendicular to the direction he just moved. In the knight's starting position, he can only move to either this tile or this tile, right? However, if the knight works his way to the center of the board, the knight now has 8 possible squares that he can move to. And of course, if you are trying to build the game of chess, you have to account for all 8 of those squares that he can move to while he's in the center. Now, imagine accounting for every possible square the knight can move to in every possible position on the board. So for example, if my knight is on A1 or B1 or C1 or D1 or E1 or any other tile, all of his moves have to be accounted for. Not only that, but Enigma displays them. If I shoot the knight, it shows me where I can actually move my knight, which is only those 2 squares. So now that you've imagined accounting for every possible move the knight can make on every possible square, imagine accounting for every move, for every piece in every possible position. When building a game like chess, you have to consider every possible move from all the pieces in whatever position they might occupy. And that alone is just insanity. Not only that, but you have to account for situations where pieces might be taken or the king might be checkmated and he can't move into any legal positions. Like, there is so many things you have to take into account. Because this is an 8x8 board, you have to account for 64 different positions of every single piece. 32 total pieces on 64 individual squares and every move from those squares. I'm no math genius, but I am certain that that is a lot of possible moves. So yeah, if the 70 trillion possible games wasn't enough, just know that he had to account for every possible move of every piece in every possible position, which is just an insanely high number to calculate for. And you know, maybe I'm making this more complicated than it is. Maybe these mechanics are actually a lot simpler than I'm giving them credit for, but there's no way I could do this, and there's no way 99.999% of people could do this with what we have in Fortnite. I mean, it's not like this is some kind of game developing software where you can just have a bunch of if-then statements. Like, this is Fortnite creative. All of the devices we have in this game, he made chess with them. That's insanity. And as far as I know, this is the most complex game ever made. I don't think anything even comes close to this. I really wish I was able to better express how insane this game is, but I don't think I can. You just have to understand it, and if you don't understand it, then you can't appreciate it, and I feel so sorry for you. Now, what I really want to do is see if we can't go into replay mode and take a look at some of the mechanics. So that is the playing field over there, and I guess this is what they look like. Oh my dear God. It is just rows and rows of sequencers and triggers. Look at, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Look at that. That's ridiculous. I mean, there's so many sequencers and there's triggers that are stretched and have different shapes and they're all lined up. Like, look at all those triggers back there. What could these be doing? Bro, I really want to know what he did for all this. Like, I know I probably wouldn't be able to understand what all of this is doing, but I would love to just sit and listen to him explain it for like an hour, because just look at all of this. It's so complex. And maybe some of you are watching this and are like, nah, it's not that complex. It's really not that deep. But like, just look at all of it. Look at all of it. If you were to do a video on this, I'm sure that no one would even be able to understand it because of how complex it is. So I guess congrats, Enigma, on the most complicated map inside of Fortnite. I can say with confidence that I have grossly underestimated what Enigma is capable of for pretty much my entire time with Fortnite Creative. People have made games like Tic-Tac-Toe and Minesweeper before, but none of those even come close to the complexity of chess. And what makes it even crazier is that this is Fortnite Creative. We don't have a whole lot of options, right? And he was able to do it with minimal issues. Maybe there's a way it can be improved upon in the future when we get more channels and more memory, but the fact that it's even in the game at all is just simply the most impressive thing ever. I remember a while back listening to a conversation about how chess would be possible once 500 channels were added. I don't know why that's the channel number needed for chess, but I remember listening to the conversation about it, and sure enough, it was possible. It's maps like this that really show us what's possible with the things we have inside of Fortnite Creative. I really wish I had a better way to express how impressive I find this, because it's just insane. I don't know, that's everything I have to say about it. It is genuinely one of the most impressive things I have ever seen in my entire life. But anyway, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, this has been Syntax. Later.